That's us. That's us. Squad TV. Squad TV. Squad TV. Squad TV. Squad TV. That's us. That's us. Squad TV. Squad TV.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens. We're going to just sit here for a couple of minutes until some people get in. So I'm going to play some music for you all. And we'll be getting started in a few minutes, okay? So thank you again for taking this Friday to sit and talk with us and listen to us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play one of the songs that we posted on our Instagram. This is a song that I listened to. I actually listened to the CD. I started listening to this CD when I was about 10 years old. And so I was introduced to this song to about 10 years old. So I want to welcome Tasha, Tainted, Silk, Chichilla, Black, Nefertiti. Welcome, kings and queens, to the Squad TV. So again, I'm going to play a song and wait for our guest speaker and wait for some more members to appear. Thank you so much for joining. Please enjoy this song. Thank you.
He's got it made. He won't admit it, but it's just a masquerade. He's a modern deceiver, with the gates of heart to defeat the unchained. It's a game. And then she sleeps. She gets the word, next thing you know, it's in the street. By the time it's been repeated, all the truth has been deleted. What a shame. Seems like everything we hear is just a tale. But I've got something that will never be. It's gonna spread love. Oh, it's gonna spread light. Spread love. The truth is in the sky. I hope it's spread love. Could open many doors, but I wish we had much more. Love is what we need. Da, da, da. They have subscriptions to the gossip magazine with a twisted sense of vision. They say rumors like religion. It's the same way of these days. It seems like everything we hear is just a tale. I believe in something that will never let down. Spread love and Opening the door. Oh, that when we have much more. More love is what we need. What the world needs now. I'm telling you, love, what we need. More love is what we need. What the world needs now. We need more love. More love is what we need. Spread love. Spread light. Spread it. You know that the darkness knows the sky. Open that door. But a whisper and much more. Love is what we need. Love. Spread love. Gotta spread love. Spread love. Don't need no lies. Spread love. Opening the door. More love is what we need. Spread love. Spread love. I've often said love could open any door, but I wish we had much more. More love is what we need. Bang, bang.
Okay, thank you. So, if you are coming into the chat and you are coming to speak, please definitely take this time, click on the link, and join. We welcome all. I'm going to set people up right now.
I wouldn't say we welcome all. No, I'm just kidding. What's up? What's popping, y'all? Thank y'all for coming in the chat. Thank you, guys. I think we're still waiting on Sister Mary, but I want to go ahead and get this started. I know it's Friday. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Oh, there's Sister Mary. Hello?
What's up?
Okay, you guys
What's
can hear
up?
me. Sister Mary?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Make sure your audio's on.
Let's see. Hold on.
Jersey,
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just want to make sure the chat, everybody can hear. Okay, good. Sister Mary, we can't hear you, though.
Okay.
I can hear her when she talks.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
can't hear her. Oh, dang it. That sucks.
Okay, I'm going to go out and come back in and try it.
Oh, y'all don't start that in the chat, Tracy. You can hear Sister Mary? I can't hear her.
Yes, we can hear her.
Oh, let me hop out and come back in.
Yeah.
Let's see. There you go. So you can hear me, Tracy. Wait, is this Tracy?
No, this is Jersey. I can hear you.
Oh, Jersey, my bad. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, cool. Hold on, let me go get my sage.
Okay, hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear everybody. Okay, cool.
Yay!
I couldn't hear Sister Mary at first. Okay, so this mental health topic basically just came from a group chat where we're all just sitting around watching all the foolery and the shenanigans. Not just Nature Boy sector, but it's like all across the board. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of judgmental people. There's a lot of misunderstood people. And I just felt like mental health is a topic that everybody can relate to, whether you're experiencing some type of mental health issues or illnesses, you have a family member that might be, or a coworker, or somebody in your life, a significant other that is suffering from these situations. So just to kind of break it down a little bit, I did ask Sister Mary if she would join. I need a professional on the platform. I don't want to be up here yapping my mouth about stuff I don't know about. But I did a little bit of homework. I dusted off some of my old college books, actually, just to kind of refresh some of the stuff that I, wanted to talk about tonight. So blessings to everyone coming in the chat. Yes. So what I wanted to talk about is just like how important and how undiagnosed mental health can be, whether it's, an extreme mental illness case or just a mild one. What it is, basically, mental health is your ability to handle or cope with stress and how you enjoy your daily life. That includes things like how you feel, how you think, how you act, how you relate to others. Those are all key factors to your mental health. And I think we don't take into consideration where other people are or at in their mental health state. We don't even know if some of these people have even addressed the fact that they might be going through some type of mental health situation. It's such a broad spectrum of what can fall under mental health. Things like just, daily habits, depression can be formed, after daily habits are done so long, you can become depressed of it. If you don't go outside for 6 months and don't get sunlight, you can become depressed from that. So I don't think we take into consideration other people's position and where they're at in life. And I think that's something that's overlooked in general, not just this sector, but in general. We see a lot of kids getting bullied. We see a lot of parents that are filming their kids and, putting their punishments online. I think a lot of that falls under the mental health spectrum. I think a lot of people walk around and they're undiagnosed, or they self-medicate, or they find ways to deal with their issues.
Right.
I think I want to break down a little bit of the science behind some of the situation. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar. Not everybody's done psychology or, taken any type of classes like that in school. But I just want to break down a little bit, and then I just want to have an open talk about it. So what I want to address first is there's different areas in the brain that contribute to mental illnesses. Your brain is just a huge circuit board, which I think we all know that. And it's just a bunch of neurons going around, pumping out some chemicals, trying to make you have the best life it can possibly give you. Sometimes those chemicals are produced massively, overproducing, or they aren't produced enough. So when you're tired, you're not getting enough, sleep, or you're having insomnia, that is your brain not producing enough serotonin for your body, or dopamine, or whatever it is that it's lacking. So when people are grouchy, or when people are acting out, either they're having a surge of those chemicals, or they're lacking it. So when people are acting irrational, or they do not relate to others well, or they have these crazy thoughts, they're always paranoid, that's a chemical imbalance in the brain. So, and I just wanted to touch on that briefly, just so people can understand that we can't just blame it on, there are factors to what causes mental health. It could be family history. It could be, a traumatic life event. It could be a brain injury. It could be health problems. You could have a thyroid problem. Heart disease contributes to mental health. Drug abuse, drug addiction. All of those things could be factors. And just like I said, be mindful when we're out here dealing with other people, and you're just having a regular day, and you say something that to you is normal, and someone spazzes on you. We're quick to just say, "Oh, you're crazy," and let it go, or then we laugh at them, or we, badger them, or we mock them. And instead of just sitting back and understanding that that person might be going through something at that time that has nothing to do with me. And instead of ignoring it, or instead of mocking it, we should understand it and have some type of empathy for what that person, whether it's a stranger or someone or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So I just wanted to touch on that, Sister Mary, if you want to chime in with me. Oh, other people are doing the panel. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not looking down at the phone.
Hello, everyone. You're right on the money, Lurker. Like right on the money. And another big issue that took me 20 something years to realize too is learned behavior. That is also like a big part of mental illness or mental health, because our parents, they raise us the best way they know how, or lack thereof. And so when we have children, we raise our children, discipline them, however we were raised. And so most of the time, some of the time, those things aren't right, but it's something that we learned growing up, and we take those things into our childhood. And because it wasn't corrected at a younger age, a lot of us are finding ourselves well into adulthood doing things that aren't really socially accepted. Like, for instance, I see a lot of memes and stuff like that about like toxic shit. I'll bust your windows out your car. Well, you shouldn't have did that sort of thing to me, blah, blah, blah. And you will see people, yes, girl, bust that motherfucking windows out this car. Yes, girl. And we praise this toxic behavior, not knowing that it is a learned behavior. Maybe whoever created the meme or shared the meme and stuff like that, that is something they grew up seeing, and no one ever corrected them. And so they thinking that that's a way to express that they care, or that is a way to express that, hey, I'm hurt, instead of just talking to the person like, yo, you done messed around too many times, whatever. But oftentimes we grow up with these toxic relationships, toxic ways of communicating, and we just brush it off as that's just how I am, or that's my zodiac. I'm a Virgo, so
Right. Yeah, that's facts right there. And you're right, though. It is a learned behavior, and you're right. We promote it. Where, like you said, yes, girl, bust those windows. Yes,
Right.
girl, bust that nigga. We going out tonight. Ooh, okay. Shit. And it is such a dysfunctional behavior, and it is hard to unlearn. It is hard to break a habit, especially if you've had it since the dawn of, coming out the womb.
Exactly.
Like you go home from the hospital and your parents are beating on each other. That's all you know.
Exactly.
But it's not an excuse to outgrow it. It's not an excuse to develop better habits. It's not an excuse.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is also, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Oh, and the thing also is, if you don't have someone to call you on your bullshit, you can be well into your 50s stuck in your ways. Like I said, it's taken me decades to realize like some of my behavior, especially in like relationships and stuff, can be toxic. It wasn't until recently, like, my lady called me on my bullshit, like, no, this isn't okay. You're doing this. Is one of the most common things in relationships that I've discovered and I see and observe is emotional manipulation. We do not notice that we are emotionally manipulating our partners. Like, it can be a breakup, it can be a disagreement, whatever it may be. But because that person loves you, you would use that love to get what you want. That that one right there, when I got called out on my bullshit about that, I was like, wow. Like, it's scary, but all these behaviors can be changed. It can be operated on. If you know the issue, there's no reason why you shouldn't want to do better, unless you want to continue the toxic patterns in your life and keep getting the same results. And doing the same thing, expecting different results is insanity. So who wants to live their life doing the same shit, and getting the same results?
There are some people that have the victim syndrome, that they enjoy staying in those type of places so they can maintain that role, or they get off on the, oh, poor you. Some people have that illness too. So some people don't want to get better, because then they won't receive the quote unquote sympathy that they're craving, which is a mental illness in itself. But if you are, tired of it, you're in a rut, you got to break it down. You got to get down to your core. I think when people say things like generational curses and, I'm working through that, or wounded wombs, terminology to that factor, it's all under the spectrum of mental health. All of it. Whether it's brought in from a relationship, or like a significant other relationship, or it's brought up from childhood, or if you were raped or jumped, or whatever the case may be. It's definitely something you can grow from. You don't have to stay stuck in it. If you want to do better, learn better, know better. When you know better, you do better, majority of the time. And I don't think we have enough compassion or resources or patience to deal with other people's problems.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
that's
this is Jersey. So, Sister Mary Claire, I just have two topics that I wanted to see if you could touch on for everyone, for the kings and queens in the chat. The first topic I wanted us to discuss, have you discuss, is about the suicide. A lot of times we have heard a lot of people online, they feel like suicide is the last resort. How can you explain what suicide can do, not only to the person who does it, but also to the family and friends that they have done it towards? And then also, do you think, my second question is that do you think social media and fame, clout chasing, has played a factor in people's behavior to want to be a certain way and they can't, and then they fall depressed because of that? So those are my two topics I would like for you to touch on, if you can, please. Thank you.
Oh, Sister Mary Clarence, I don't think they can hear her. It said her mic is muted. I don't know. Hello? No, she's not talking to herself. We just can't hear her, unfortunately. Okay, well, until she figures out, or we find out what's going on with the and we find out what's going on with the audio. What I want to touch on real quick, Jers, you brought up something about suicide and things like that, and it's really crazy because I actually, many years ago, I had this friend, this church friend of mine. His name was Alex, and we used to talk very often and visit with each other and stuff. And he kind of always had like that demeanor about himself, like he doesn't really feel like, well, he never really felt like he was good enough, you know um and he said that his mom always made him feel like he was never good enough. And it's so crazy because I can't remember exactly what happened, but this guy was talking to his mom and she said something about like, you are a disappointment to me. I think she told Alex that. From what I understand, I don't know, I can't speak verbatim because I wasn't there. And apparently he went into her room and got her gun and went into the hallway and shot himself. And he took his life. And his mom kind of felt responsible for what happened. And she said that she wasn't saying that she was disappointed in him. She was disappointed in the things that he was doing because she know that she raised him better than that. And, I feel like along with the mental illness that people experience, we should also be careful with the things that we say to people that we already know go through depression or anxiety or things like that, because living with these mental disabilities, that affect our mental, our physical, our emotional, our spirits, like it really does affect you. So you have to be careful too what you say to people. And it's crazy because my aunt, she told me one time, I was just standing up curling her hair, and I started to have an anxiety attack. And my chest felt real heavy. I got short of breath. I couldn't breathe. And she was like, what's wrong with you? I was starting to get dizzy and kind of faint. She was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know. I think I'm having an anxiety attack. And the first thing that she told me was, you you crazy, you stupid anyhow. You crazy. And that didn't make that situation that I was going through better. So I feel like we also need to educate ourselves on things like anxiety or depression or things like that. Because for my aunt to call me crazy because I was having a physical and mental experience that I could not control in that moment, it really made me feel down. It really made me personally feel hurt in a way, and then it brought on the thoughts of depression. I'm like, well, dang, am I really crazy because I have anxiety, because I'm going through this mental thing? It's just, I just really want people to educate themselves on everything, because there's more than just depression, or bipolar, or there's more than just these little few things that we know about. So educate yourself on this, so you'll be able to help someone, that may be going through these experiences.
I agree. I agree completely. And like one thing that I've experienced, like from being in the field and having, instances where I've had to talk people off the ledge. One thing about it is someone that is contemplating suicide, they're not going to announce it. Like, believe it or not, in a lot of cases, like what's the comedian that committed, Robin Williams? Nobody would have ever expected that he was going through what he was going through. One of the funniest men in the business, he was battling many different forms of mental illness and committed suicide. But that's one thing about it, like they're not going to broadcast it and stuff like that. You have people that may broadcast it for the attention. That's a whole nother different topic, because that also triggers to maybe a personality disorder, or whatever the case may be. But most people who are trying to go through with committing suicide, they're not going to announce it. You're not going to know that they're depressed or whatever the case may be, unless you're sitting down talking to them. Even then, they still might bluff and like, nah, I'm good, until they get by themselves, and the angel and the devil is on their shoulder as far if they're going to go through with it. So that's one thing that I've definitely observed working in the field. A lot of people are not going to admit it, because it's also a sense of embarrassment, because we have this stigma of suicide, of people that commit suicide, like, oh, it's a cop out, oh, you're being selfish, oh, you're being this, oh, you're being that. So somebody that's really wanting to go through with it, they're not going to broadcast it, and they're more than likely not going to tell anyone. That's why most people write suicide notes. They express themselves in the notes and stuff, because they're not going to tell you, hey, like, I'm done. I can't continue life. This, and this is going on with me. I just can't do it. And they go to the privacy of their homes or whatever the case, and they go through with it. So, I'm sorry, what was the other question about social media? Because that was a good question.
I think she was saying that she wanted you to touch on suicide, and I guess
social media as well.
Yeah. That's
people using social media as a way to claim to have certain disability or showing signs of these mental disabilities.
Kiss, you keep covering your phone so you get muffled halfway through your comment.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But social media and mental illness period is dangerous. Like that whole combination is dangerous because I mean, there's good aspects to it as far as people coming out and, hey, I have this disorder. Or, yes, I suffer with depression. That's a good thing about social media because it brings people together who may be experiencing and have been exiled or disowned or shunned because they have a mental illness. But as far as like the attention part of it, I guess it's easier said than done because I've never personally experienced like online bullying and stuff like that to the point where I couldn't disconnect myself from it. Like you can choose to be in this space of the internet and you can choose to talk to these type of people and that type of people. So I have never really experienced it to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to commit suicide, blah, blah, blah. I've never been to that extent of it. However, I believe that if someone is really battling like depression and anxiety and all this type of stuff, it is very easy for someone to be triggered in order to, hurt themselves because of the things that they are seeing and the stuff that's being said towards them and stuff, because everybody isn't as strong mentally to know like, okay, I just need to unplug. I just need to delete Facebook or delete Instagram or whatever the case may be. And excuse me. And as far as social media, like as far as like attention and stuff like that, it feeds those I would consider most of them personality disorders. Like people who seek validation from social media followings and stuff like that. That's definitely an underlying personality disorder. Maybe they're not getting that attention at home. Maybe they're not getting that attention in their community. So you can be whoever you want to be on social media. You can create a whole persona. You can filter up to be the baddest bitch on IG or Facebook. So you can create a whole different world that you don't have in reality. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous to the point where you can create this world online and bring that world into your real life. Although this is not it, you can carry these traits into your real life, knowing that's not who you are, but that's the dangerous aspect of it. Believing the stuff that you're posting and saying online with this character that you created, believing it in your real life, and you can't meet those expectations of your real life that you've presented online. And that's where the line, I guess, becomes blurred. Social media is dangerous. It's dangerous if you allow it to be dangerous. Because a lot of us, like I said, we can disconnect, we can shut it down, we can block people, we can do whatever going with our lives. A lot of people can't because that's their life. That's their world. They created this character, they created this fantasy. And so the people online, this is who they see. This is who y'all gonna get. I don't care if I'm online, I'm on Facebook posting 1,000 times a day. I got fans, you know what I'm saying? Like people big up at me. I'm getting all these likes and everything. So I'm gonna keep on doing it to satisfy myself because I know in real life I don't have that. I don't have the people, complimenting me, talking to me all day. And so it becomes very dangerous when that line is blurred between reality and social media to me.
It's also to me the people that are watching. Can you hear me? Hello?
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 Hey, can anybody hear me?
Hello?
I can hear both of y'all.
Wait.
Oh, okay. Can sister not hear me?
Because I'm saying, like, I can't. I just heard. I can't hear Lurker, I think.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Y'all phones are having a disagreeable moment right now.
Come on. I paid too much money for this daggone phone for it to be tripping like this.
I don't know what that could be.
I'm gonna leave out and come back in. Let's see.
Okay. We're gonna figure it out. It's all right. It's all
Okay,
right.
can everybody hear me now?
Well, I heard you, and I think it's you and sister's phones. Y'all phones are beefing tonight. That's what
I
I'm
guess.
thinking it is.
I guess so.
That's what I
I
think it
guess
is.
so.
I think y'all
But
devices are beefing.
I agree with everything she's saying. How we, not even just mentally ill people in general use social media as a mask or a facade. But I also think when you include the mental illness plus the trolls or the people egging it on, or that matter too, that also pushes people further into a state that they would never, like, say somebody's depressed just regular, right? And then they hop on IG and then there's 5 million trolls going after them, then it pushes them to a place they might not have been without social media. Mm-hmm. It's just like a magnifying glass, an amplifier. So what do we do though? Do we have, because I'm not saying we as in a whole, I'm talking about we as in who's in this room right now today. What do we do when we come across stuff like that? Because I am guilty. I've talked about this in the group chats before. I am guilty of entertaining the fuckery.
Me too.
Excuse my language. Excuse my language, but I am guilty of entertaining the debauchery, and it's not good for the person on the receiving end, because I get my laughs off and then I go back to my wonderful life, or whatever life, and call it a day. But then that person was the target of the fuckery, might not have such a great night. So what because I know you can't just, it's like starting a diet. You don't lose weight but what do you do? How do you move forward? How do you reach out? When do you say, like, okay, this isn't cool, let me log off? Because I can't help it. I saw Diva in the comments. She's like, how do you stop being crazy? Because I like it. I enjoy it too. But it's detrimental to other people. And that is where I need to check myself, or people in here,
It's the logical, reasoning, which is easier said than done, is we detach from it. But of course, like you, like everyone, I watch it. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the logical reasoning would be to detach yourself and stop watching it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I mean, I'm trying to find out what's going on. I'm just as nosy too.
Right.
But I'm the type of person, like, for the most part, I kind of mind my own, because a lot of stuff I can't watch because I'm so empathic. I feel the energy in which it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of puts me in a place. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of things I just cannot allow into my subconscious. Being that I do be online quite a bit, you run into a lot of people that really do have mental illnesses. But what I wanna touch on outside of social media, because I don't really follow a whole lot of people other than like a lot of melanated people or whatever. One thing that our people as a whole has done for many, many years is, cover up the fact that somebody has a mental illness,
Right.
or not really cater to that mental illness. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like, we know that this person has a problem. We see that this person has a problem. But instead of, trying to seek out help or get help for them, the only thing that we're going to do is, tell them how they're crazy, tell them how, they're not going to ever do nothing, they're not going to ever be nothing. It's just, in the melanated community as a whole, we have gotten away from taking care of our mental health. And just like what you said, social media is a very dangerous place, especially someone that has manic episodes.
Right. Talk about it, Kiss.
Yeah, and they also have these mental illnesses. So, a lot of people say, well, not a lot of people, but some people I watch or see or whatever may say, I cope with my mental illness by being online. Oh, okay, that's fine. You're sharing your experience or talking about how you're getting help. But if you just online running amok, spreading out your mental illness onto other people, that's not helping either. The only thing is probably helping is if somebody else watching you and say, ooh, I have some of these same characteristics. I have some of the same characteristics. This person may be a little off, or they may have some type of not off, excuse me. This person may suffer from some type of mental illness. Maybe I need to go get help. Maybe I need to go see, if I have these problems also. So, I mean, I'm okay with people being on social media, but it's like you have to be effective in what you're doing. You can't just say I'm doing this because it's helping me, but like, is it really helping you? Or are you just using it as an excuse to get online and get attention from what you claim to be a mental illness?
Right.
Okay.
And phenomenal. I want to point this out real quick.
Yeah, I was about to get.
Oh, is that what you saw? Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, therapist. Take this one on.
No, I was just agreeing. You're so right about the Black community being conditioned to survive. That is the basis of it. And within the last few years, maybe, Black people and people of color are just now getting to the point where we're seeking therapists and we're seeking help, and we're not just excusing our behaviors as, I grew up this way, or this how I am, or blah blah blah. We're just now seeking help because we are conditioned to survive. We are conditioned fight or flight. Like that's like some genetic shit because I know about every Black family. I see memes all the time, and it'd be like, dang, we all grew up in the same Black ass household growing up because everybody can relate. And it's now getting to a point where people are, saying, girl, you need to seek therapy instead of, I'm going to pray for you. Ooh, you need to pray about that. Ooh, the devil busy. Mm-hmm. We give the devil too much credit. Sometimes it's not the devil. Sometimes it's just you. Like, really, we give the devil too much credit. I mean, granted, your spirituality, religion, whatever, granted, some shit just be fucked up. But at the same time, we got to stop telling people, oh, I'm going to pray for you. Oh, you need to pray about it. Like, for instance, I'm like just being real and transparent. I'm a survivor of molestation, childhood molestation. And I recall after the incident, once I finally, I guess my mom like pulled it out of me, the first thing we did was go to church and counsel with our pastor. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that, hey, this may fuck her up for the rest of her life, but that's all we know to do is to go to our pastors or go to somebody higher up to pray about it and everything else instead of, okay, well, my child needs to talk to somebody. Maybe she's afraid to tell me something. Maybe she needs to speak to somebody else other than our pastors and our priests and, whoever we confide in. But like, I don't blame my mom for that because she didn't know, you know what I'm saying? This is something that has been passed down from her mom and her mom's mom. And even, back then in my grandma's generation, that shit was, that was common. 17, 16-year-olds married and having children and starting families with 40-something-year-olds, 50-something-year-olds. That was common. So I don't blame my mom. I would never blame her. You know what I'm saying? Like we've come to a full circle now that I'm actually working in the mental health field. So I'm like, I don't blame you. I don't, have any ill will towards you. But the counseling with the pastor did not help. It's stuff that happened then that I'm still navigating to this day. But I don't blame you because you didn't know what to do. You're just doing what somebody else might have told you, your mom told you, or, and so that is definitely an issue. But I'm glad to see that at a higher percentage and a higher rate that Black people, people of color, we are seeking help now.
Without any type of right. And yes, we are starting to reach out for help, but without any type of shame attached to it. There's still that stigma in the melanated community. I mean, it just is. It lingers heavy, but it's starting to be broken. And now there's not so much shame for saying, oh, yeah, I go to therapy, or, oh, yeah, I'm getting help, or, oh, hey, I'm having a bad day. It's really starting to wear thin. The carrying that badge of shame is really starting. It's a good thing, but it's a lot of work. We have a lot of work to do. And it's going to take not just this generation, it's going to have to be the next, because that, like you were saying, Sister Mary, this is something that has led back, like a generational curse. This is something that's come from your mother's mother's mother, and we have to be mindful of that. That's the biggest thing. I'm guilty of this. So let me not say we, I'll just say me. I have to be mindful of that, because I get so wrapped up in my own stuff, my own. And I get wrapped up in shit that's, excuse my French, I get wrapped up in stuff that's not even important. I'll put somebody of importance on the back burner so I can go over here and, screenshot this photo real quick and, make a funny caption when there's somebody right next to me that really needs it. And I just need to be more mindful of being more patient and more available. And as well as reaching out when I need it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that can go a long way.
Everyone, I'm sorry to hear.
So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, you went silent. We can hear you there.
Because my computer, for some reason, the speaker went out for the computer, so I'm playing it
from your phone.
But what I wanted to say is that we were talking in the we were talking earlier, and we were just talking about how it's important that we go to the doctors each year. We should. Now, remind you, I can't hear you guys' feedback. So, but we go to the doctors every year. And we encourage our children to go to the doctors. We go to the doctors, to check out for our liver, our kidneys, our thyroid, our female productive system, our men productive body parts, everything. However, we have a problem with going to see the doctor for our brain. And you should start incorporating mental health. Get your mind right. It's okay to go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. It's okay. And if you have people around you, family, friends, people on social media that's going to clown you, like I have a life coach, right? My family practitioner encouraged that I get a life coach, because it's very hard being a single parent, right? And so mentally, I struggle certain things. And so for me to stay positive or whatever, I needed somebody who I could just talk to. Now, besides me having this wonderful squad that I have, I needed more professional. But again, it's okay to go and seek help and get someone who can help you on your brain. I think it's very important that we work on our brain as well as working on other things, fitness, our hair products. We do all this stuff to take care of ourselves for the outside, the appearance. We make sure we go to the gym. We make sure our nails are done. We make sure we got weave or wig or natural hairs braided up, oiled. We put oil on our skin. We do face masks. But we don't do anything that is going to better our mind. And we need to start doing that and encourage people to do that. That's it. Thank you.
Well,
That's a great point.
I just want to tell everyone that's in this live right now, or anyone who may see this video, please do not suffer in silence. Please get help. Talk to someone, no matter what it is,
That's Jersey's phone echoing. Kiss?
I don't know what's going on, but anywho, yeah, just
It's
don't
Jersey's
like
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't want.
Let me mute. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, I don't want anyone to suffer alone or suffer in silence from whatever mental illness it is that you are going through. And please, like I said, y'all, look it up. Look up different mental illnesses, because no, you may not be bipolar. You may not be, you may not have depression. You may not have anxiety, but you may have like something else. So just be mindful, that just be mindful of your brain, be mindful of your mind, be mindful of your thoughts, your habits. If your habits change, like if you know that you're usually a person that gets up out of bed and takes a shower and make yourself feel good, and not all of a sudden you don't really feel like getting up, you don't feel like doing nothing, you don't feel like making yourself feel good or look good, start paying attention to those types of things and do not suffer in silence. Please seek help. Talk to someone. No matter what it is, no matter who it is, talk to someone.
You hit it right on the head. That's it. That's because it's certain behaviors that we do. Like, yeah, if you don't feel like getting up and taking a shower, if you just want to sit on the couch all day, watch TV, there's a difference between, being tired and drained and then depression. We don't see those signs because we psych ourselves out, talk ourselves down like, no, I'm just tired. What you tired for? You ain't did shit all day. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, I'm tired. Or, no, I don't feel, I'll do that later. Or I'll do this later. And you find yourself on the couch all day watching TV, barely eating or eating too much. Is very subtle and small hints, but you have to check yourself when you feel it happening. And even if you can't solve the issue in that moment, it's something to talk about with someone that you confide in or someone that you trust. Because if you talk to this person about these little differences that you're feeling and stuff like that, if they care enough and if they know you well enough, they'll call you out on your shit. Like, that's just how it goes sometimes. Like my sister, I talk to her every day. She know me every which way, inside and out. And if I'm telling her about, me just chilling all day, that don't sound like you. What's wrong? What's going on? You want to talk? And it comes out. But those little subtle behaviors are definitely something to be aware about, and you hit it on the head, because that is very important, because we overlook it and we'll make all sorts of excuses and stuff like that for the behavior when it's something much more serious and something that needs to be talked about, something that needs to be shared, or something that needs to be looked into.
Yeah. But the reason why I said that is because that's how my depression, that's how I know I'm depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not really so much as like not showering or nothing like that, but like I would get up, I have all these plans. I have all these plans. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get up tomorrow at 7 a.m. and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I have all these plans in my mind, but when the day comes, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'll be like, okay, let me go ahead and get on up. I go take my shower, all right, and lay back down in the bed. Oh, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Well, I guess I'll give me something to eat. 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Well, it's too late now. I don't feel like going nowhere. Well, maybe I should try. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Oh, no, 5 o'clock traffic. I'm really not finna go nowhere. And I end up just wasting my day. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I know I'm depressed because I see that there are differences in my patterns, from what I would normally do or from how I would normally, get up and get things done. You know what I'm saying? Like I may let something go undone in my house for a long time. And it's so crazy to me because like I said, I'll have all these plans in my mind. Like I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna wash the walls, I'm gonna scrub the baseboards, I'm gonna clean the vents and clean the carpet. And I have all these plans, and when the day come, I'm just like blah. So start paying attention to that type of stuff too, y'all, because that's really important. That's how it really starts. It starts with those small things, and then it just becomes bigger and bigger.
And it's a snowball effect. That's exactly it. It's a snowball effect. If you don't mind, I wanted to do like a quick exercise, nothing too much. If anybody that wants to participate, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I think you should go right ahead. But before we jump to your exercise, I want to point out once again. Here goes Phenomenal with a great pointer. I just want to point it out. Also, check on your strong friends, your funny friends. Keep an eye out for them as well.
Yes, definitely. Because those are the ones. Because everyone comes to them for advice. Everyone comes to them to vent and to dump, and those are usually the ones that are most quiet about their personal business because they're constantly taking so much in and so much on from everybody else. Also, to piggyback on that is be conscious of your dumping on people, on your stronger friends or, family and stuff like that. If, you call to check up on someone, to talk to somebody, don't, go into the conversation with, girl, guess what happened to me today? Oh, this, and this, and this. It should be a back and forth conversation instead of one person just dumping on somebody, because the person who is constantly being dumped on will grow to be resentful because they can never get a word in. They can never express themselves because they have to be that listening ear for you.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely.
Oh, one more thing I want to say too before we get into your exercise. If you're visiting someone, again, paying attention to the signs in mental health in other people. If you're visiting someone like that one friend that always keep her house nice, always everything is clean. It may be a little something here and there, but for the most part, everything is done. And you go to her house and you see a difference in her. You can see like dishes ain't done. No vacuuming has been done. And you know for a fact that this friend, keeps things a certain way. Y'all make sure you check on that person too. Like those little things that you can literally see in someone's environment. Like you can literally see the mental illness that they may be experiencing at that time. Don't make them feel bad like, "Ooh, girl, please, your house a mess today," or "Ooh, don't do that." If you go to somebody's house and you have that type of heart and that time, okay, well, I know for a fact my friend ain't, leaving her kitchen a mess, and I go to her house and I see this in her. Okay, something is off. Let me go in this kitchen. Let me wash these dishes. Let me clean, and let me sit down and talk with my friend and find out what's going on with her. Like help people out, y'all. Don't just call people out like, oh, you look a mess, or oh, you ain't showered, or why your house look like that? Why
Yes. Yes.
actually
'Cause
make them feel comfortable, like they can come to you and talk to you. Like, girl, your dishes ain't, if I go to my friend's house, I have a friend that suffers from depression. And when I go to her house, I could tell that she's going through those stages when I go over there and her dishes ain't done or she ain't swept. Or, it's a lot of stuff that's not done. I may go over there, I wash her dishes, sweep her floor. I'm like, what's going on? Are you okay? You feeling good? And she actually suffers from that. She has to go and get help when she's going through her depression. So make sure y'all keep that in mind too.
That's dope. That's hella dope.
that sounds like a factory right there. I
That's a
love this.
fact.
Thank you guys so much. No, my daughter's here. She's doing my hair, and she's listening in to everything. So I love this. But let's get started on this exercise, Sister Mary.
All right. Everybody in the chat, if you want to, if you're open enough, to do it, you can follow along. You can interact and stuff. We can start with the panel. We can go one by one with the panel for anybody who is, interested in doing it. But I assume everybody in the chat and stuff is 18 or older at least, or has at least lived life, some. Okay. So I want everybody in the chat on the panel to think of an instance where you would want to apologize to your younger self. Or think of an instance or advice you would give your younger self. Like, it can be a life-changing event. It could be a decision that changed your life, in a bad direction or whatever, or prevented you from making a better step or a better decision. I know we limited the characters in the chat. So it could be something as simple as, I apologize to a young Sister Mary for not telling somebody about my assault sooner. That's just an example. But just think of an instance where you would apologize to your younger self, or an instance or advice you would give your younger self. Oh, I'm sorry, Diva. What's your question? I'm sorry. I see Tracy, my bad. I'm just running my mouth. Sister, Diva has a question. But yeah, everybody just
Oh,
think
wait,
of
Lurk,
it.
you ready? Hold on, do you want
It came to me instantly, and that's a deep ass question, Sister Mary. I didn't know we was going here tonight, but
We going there tonight.
that's okay. It's needed. It's good. It's good. It's good. But yeah, I definitely know. As soon as you said what would you either take back or what advice, my self personally, I would tell my aunt to stay. And I won't get into details about why I say stay, but my advice to my 14-year-old self would be stay. Stay, stay, stay. I ended up, leaving house real young. My mom kicked me out. I had a chance to go back and I didn't. And that's one of it's not a big regret because I had a lot of life experience. But it also left my little sisters vulnerable. And that's just one thing I wish I could say is stay.
Do you feel like you've forgiven yourself for not staying? Or do you feel like you haven't?
Not. I'm still I'm in therapy now for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I have not healed from that. I pushed it down. So for like a good 10 years of my life, I didn't even... Well, longer than that, maybe like 15 years of my life, I didn't even, think I needed healing. And then as I got older and more stuff started to come out, I was like, oh shit, I need some healing.
Yeah. And you're entitled to feel. You got to feel it. You like a lot of stuff we push back into our subconscious, and we keep doing that as a way of survival because we don't want to touch that because you've gotten past it and life has moved differently. It comes up, but you suppress it until somebody, makes you talk about it, or it comes out in some type of instance. But I understand that. I mean, even without you going into detail, you haven't forgiven yourself about, for that. And when you do, I'm sure you'll be able to feel the difference in your life, going forward when you do get to that point where you do forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely a work in progress. It's not something I think about daily, but it's definitely something that has affected me in my later life for sure.
Mm.
So next person.
Well,
Diva. Oh, I'm sorry. Diva. I don't know how you fix your gay feelings.
Diva in here entertaining the chat. She needs to bring her ass on the panel and let it. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know, Diva.
we're gonna save that for Friday fuckery.
Yes,
Right.
Diva, come back for Friday fuckery. Since
but
Mary
but
is available.
but I have to be honest with you, and it's so crazy. When you asked me that question, it was kind of hard for me to come up with something, think of something, because I'm not trying to like make it seem like I didn't have struggles growing up, but um my mom my mom taught me always to be open, to speak out, don't be afraid to ask for help, and just be for the most part honest honest and open person. So I don't know. I don't know the only thing I'll probably tell my younger self is to be more understanding of my mom. I'll say that. I'll say that because there's not really much I can say. My
Yeah,
mama
sure.
raised me without secrets. My mama raised me without secrets. She spoke to me. She talked to me. She that's my best friend. I'm her best friend. So there's not really a whole lot I can say that I regret because a lot of things I decided to do beforehand, I talked to my mom. So she has saved me. I have not had to learn all my lessons the hard way.
That's
I
good.
took the easy way out. Ask my mama. So
That's dope. That's dope. I mean, hey, and everybody hasn't, had to struggle. We all go through life differently. Some of us have similar upbringings. Some of us don't. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that at
Mm-hmm.
all. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's great actually that you yeah, you haven't had to fight, learned behaviors, or you haven't had to fight through, PTSD and trauma and, sort of stuff like that. And that is great. And I applaud your mother, for raising a strong individual the best way she knew how. And that's hella dope.
mhm. My mama talked to me all the time. I know this is gonna sound crazy, y'all. My mama, I guess, like once I got to that age where I know this is kind of like a different topic I'm finna say real quick, but
Okay.
I know we speaking on mental illness, but you know how they say melanated children or black children can't be kids. Like it's almost like we're not allowed to be children. We're not allowed to be kids. So my mom, when I was younger, I guess around the age, not no, it's not even that being molested has a age limit on it. Please
Right.
don't quote me on that because being molested has no age, no face, no
Kiss,
gender, none of that.
kiss. I love you. I apologize to interrupt. Jersey, can you please drop the link for Granny? She's not able to get in. My apologies, Kiss.
Oh, okay. So but yeah, so dog, what okay. So yeah,
You were on the
there's no
molesting
age
and
limit or nothing like that on being molested. But I will say this, I guess around the time where my mother started to allow me out of her presence, She sat me down and had a very stern, understanding, long conversation with me about, you know, molestation and about what it is to have someone to touch you in these places. So y'all, again, women, men, please do not ever think that your child is too young to know what someone touching them in the wrong way or the wrong place is.
Right.
Please do not think that, because so many people are, oh, like I don't have to worry about that right now. Child. I ain't, and I'm sorry. No, you cannot do that. Talk to your children at a young age, and I know that it sounds crazy to say, okay, I have to go to my 5-year-old and try to, explain to them what somebody touching them there means, or somebody doing just evil, salacious things to them. Talk to your children. Let them know at a young age, because that's when it starts, at a young age. And that way they'll never be afraid to come out and talk to you. They will never be afraid. And when you're talking to them, let them know, I will never judge you if this was to happen to you. And that's what my mama have always told me. If anything is to ever happen to you, I would never judge you for it. I will support you. I will stand by you because you are my child, and I know I didn't raise no liar like that. You know. So, anywho, I went to my dad's house, y'all. As crazy as I am, after this long conversation that my mama just had with me about, child molestation and all that, I go to my dad's house, and this man touches my arm.
Stranger danger.
And I hurried up and ran to the phone. Oh, I ran to the phone. I want to call my mama. I want to call my mama right now. I gave my daddy HE hockey sticks. And we called my mom. I said, Mom, and I'm crying because I'm like, oh, my dad just touched me. I'm crying, y'all, like bawling. And I called my mom and I said, Mama, my daddy just touched me. And she said, where did he touch you? And I said, he touched me on my arm. And my mama said, no, that's not what I meant by that. I mean, in this place or that place or that place. So I didn't understand. And my daddy thought that was crazy that my mama talked to him about that situation, but I don't, y'all, because I've never went through nothing like that where a family member or a family friend or nothing like that was molesting me. My cousin came in the room late at night, when I went to go sleep over at my uncle's house. My cousin came into the room real late, and he called himself trying to touch me. I hollered. I made a scene in their house. Do you understand? He didn't get to touch me, but I yelled and I hollered because my mama taught me. You understand what I'm saying? To speak out. So again, y'all, never be afraid to talk to your children. Never think that your child is too young to understand what someone trying to molest them or someone molesting them is. Please do not think that.
I agree. Shoot, and to piggyback on that, as a community, I'm just gonna say we, because I'm black, we have got to stop protecting these creepy ass uncles, creepy ass aunts, because it has no gender, no faith. Mm-hmm. We have got to stop protecting these people in our family when we know what the tea is. Like, I've heard too many instances where that has happened, and the child is still forced to speak the Uncle Junebug at holiday and family gatherings and stuff. Stop furthering, triggering and traumatizing your children for the sake of family, for the sake of being together and all that. Boy, we gotta stop doing that shit. We gotta stop protecting these motherfuckers, because it's doing nothing but raising children with all these traumas that when they are out in society have to suffer different consequences for the trauma that they experience
Yeah.
from family members and from
Yeah.
community leader, everybody. Like yeah, man. So that's why, like, I don't know, like, besides, just basic life, I used to be so terrified to have my own children in this world because of the shit that I've seen, the shit that I've heard and experienced. Because it's like, I can't be there 24/7 with my child. My child has to go out to the world, and I don't want to be a sheltered parent to the point where they're a damn bubble kid. But I used to be terrified to want to have a child because of the things that I've heard and experienced. But yeah, that's one thing we have to, do as we got to call out people's fuck shit and start protecting these motherfuckers.
Well, that's good that you said that. But I always remember, y'all, don't be too afraid because you can always break the curse. You can always
Well, I
break the
wanted
cycle.
to.
Because, wait, you done?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear you.
ma'am. Yes, Queen.
All right, she ain't saying nothing. Let me know when she back. Let me say this real quick. Just keep in mind, y'all, that you can break the cycle. Okay, you can break the cycle. My mom broke the cycle with me because my mom, not to get completely all into her stuff, but she was molested for many, many years by a family member. You understand what I'm saying? So always remember, just because you went through these things or you had these experiences, your children don't have to go through it, or not saying that they ever will, because you can break the cycle. Like I said, talk to your children, and just like Kayla said in the comments, stop forcing your children to hug and kiss people. Stop forcing your children to hug relatives and kiss. That's one thing my mama didn't play neither. My mama didn't play that, sitting up in nobody's lap. She didn't care who they was, uncle, daddy, none of that. I never. Let me tell y'all, as old as I am, I ain't never sat in my daddy's lap. I ain't never sat in no man's lap. I ain't never been up under men like that because my mama taught me about that too. You understand what I'm saying? And I hate to say it like this, but my mom taught me how to carry myself like a young lady at a very young age, because although a man should be able to control, they thought some men are really sick. Some men and women are sick, and they should be able to control their thoughts, but because they do have mental illnesses, some of them cannot. So you have to teach your children also to, to be young men and young women out here, little ladies and little men. My mama didn't play that. Okay, Jersey.
Well, oh yeah, Jersey, are you back? I know we just totally eluded the the exercise, which I want to get back to. But Jersey, are you there? I don't hear her. Okay, if we can finish up Sister Mary's thing. I know Phenomenal also chimed in a little bit with she said that her advice to her younger self would be change her thoughts about herself, and that she is worthy and she deserves to take up space. Oh,
Yes.
to
I like
understand that you are worthy of this
that.
space.
Okay, I love that. That's what I'm talking about. That's
You
what
are
I'm talking
worthy. You're on mute, Jersey. Okay. All right, Sister Mary, we're back to you.
All right. So with that advice, I saw a lot of forgiving and wanting to forgive someone in that space. If you feel like the person who, you feel like you want to forgive and stuff like that, if it's not hurting you anyway, if it's not prohibiting you from different relationships and stuff like that, do that shit. Like, I mean, it's easier said than done, but a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of things that hold us back is centered around forgiveness. And sometimes we don't have to forgive people, just to make them feel better. But we have to forgive people for ourselves, because we will continue to hold certain things on our spirit and in our subconscious to the end of time, until it resurfaces, and then it makes you angry again, or it depresses you again, or it flares up anxiety and stuff like that. So everyone that did the exercise, I know it could be corny, you don't have to do it. It may feel weird. But give your younger self a hug. Some of us didn't get enough hugs and enough kisses and enough I love yous and enough I'm proud of you, enough you matters. But as adults, we have to remind ourselves often, like, toot your own damn horn. Like, I'm proud of you, girl. You got out of bed this morning. I'm proud of you. You went to work and worked the whole 8 hours. I'm proud of you. Good job. Mm-hmm. Although society tells us that these are the things that we're supposed to do, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Mentally, it takes a lot. Physically, just to, I guess, sustain in society's norms and society's means. And anybody that's doing it, being a housewife or a full-time mother, you don't have to do it, but you're doing it. And you got to big up yourself a lot of the time. Like, you can never big up yourself enough, because a lot of us need it. A lot of us require it, and a lot of us don't hear it enough. So everybody in the chat that followed the exercise and, spoke to their younger selves, or, said anything to you, just give yourself a hug. I love you. I love you guys. I don't know a lot of you all personally, but I know, from YouTube and IG and everything. I love you. Sister Mary loves you, because I really do. I love everybody until you give me a reason not to just not.
We love everybody. We love everybody, because we love you too.
We love everybody.
We love everybody. All of the beautiful people of the world.
You got to. Even though we don't like them sometimes, we still gotta love them, And that's where that tribe mentality comes from, like, I can talk shit about my cousin, but nobody on the outside better not talk shit about my cousin. I don't care if I call my cousin an ugly, stupid slop. I don't care if I say I don't like them 1,000 times, but you're not about to say nothing about my cousin. Like, no. We definitely got to get back to that tribe mentality, because it's too much individuality, and we're just leaving each other by the wayside, and it's sad, because there's so many instances where we need each other. We can't do this alone. Like I said, even the friendships and relationships and stuff made on social media, they mean more than what people on the outside may believe or may see. We call each other sis, cousin, bros, this and that. And we mean it, because although I don't know you in person, I feel your energy. I feel your love. You heart my pictures. I'm big up in you. Yes. You cute. You cute. And may never meet you in this lifetime, but I love you through your energy. Our energies transfer, and that's it. Like, I love you. I love everybody, even if I don't like you sometimes. Even if I cuss you out, like, I still love you. And that's just that. We got to.
And that's
powerful
right there.
Yeah, we got to figure out.
And I want to. I know Jersey said she's got to dip out, so we're probably going to have to wrap this up. Okay. But I want to commend that. I cannot express how many times I do not see eye to eye with my squad sisters. We just do not see eye to eye every day, all day. We just don't. As much as when we're behind the scenes, we're like, well, you know what? I really didn't like that. Well, you know what? This is my idea. Yeah. But that is the beauty of the squad. We are not just robots sitting there saying, yep, go for it. Yes. We all have ideas that we bounce off each other. We all listen. When I'm having one of those days, they know it. They're like, Lurker, what's going on today? I'm like, what do you mean what's going on today? Nothing's fucking going on today. They're like, oh, okay. And then the next day, I'm like, you know what? Yesterday was a really bad day for me. They're like, yeah, we know, Lurker, we know. So I'm grateful for that. And you're right. When I do say, hey, cousin, I mean it. That's the energy that I feel for certain people. Sister Mary, thank you so much for just coming on and just shooting the breeze with us. This has been a beautiful build.
This is dope.
And I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
like
something we should probably have a part 2 of.
Yeah.
Just because it's needed, it's relevant, it's necessary. It opens doors for other people to express their own situation. So
And I'm gonna give
grateful.
y'all a little tip. I'm still learning it myself, but it helps. It helps a lot through my, in work, at home, with family, communication and accountability. Ooh, I'm about to get something started. I ain't gonna get that started. I'm getting, but communication.
On part 2 of this, I really enjoyed this, and I enjoy having you on. I enjoy speaking with you and talking to you, and this was really nice.
I can't believe it's been an hour and 25 minutes. This
Really?
has flown by for me.
Dang,
this has flown by for me.
Yeah, definitely. And if anyone in the chat, want to, shoot the shit, you need to talk, you need to vent. I am certified. My Instagram is the same as YouTube. Sister Sista Mary Clarence. You follow me on IG. Shoot me a DM. Everything is completely confidential. If you hear anything about something in the streets, you can sue me, but it will not get out in the streets because that's my obligation. And I don't sugarcoat shit. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear as far as encouragement, but I'm not gonna tell you what you need to hear as far as to help you sleep at night. If you were in the wrong, I'm gonna tell you, like, hey, now look, we could have did this way or that way, but definitely everything is free, so I don't charge or whatever. So completely free, confidential.
We did share. Speaking of freeness, we did share your Cash App up here. It's going by. So for love donations tonight, if you guys can, you see that we're an up and coming channel. We don't have our little, super chat. We don't have all that going on. We're not fancy yet. But we did post Sister Mary's Instagram and Cash App. So if anybody's willing to tip, please send it to Sister Mary tonight. I saw Tracy did put up our Cash App, but whatever you guys tip us, we'll be going back to Sister Mary. Just for being willing to be first of all, you're our first guest, so thank you so much.
Hey,
thank you. You're our first guest. Woo! Yes. So we want to take care of the weak, and we want to take care of the strong. It's got to be a balance there.
It got to.
It's got to be a balance. Yeah. Is there any closing statements, Kiss, that you want to leave off with, Queen?
No, I'm just really thankful for everybody here.
Me too. My closing statements, I'm going to reflect on what Kiss said. I'm grateful. Thank you guys. I see there's 25 people in the chat, but I also see that we have 49 up likes. I am so grateful for that. We're not going to monitor our up likes like a bunch of other channel holders, but it does let us know that you came through and you supported what we had going on, whether you stayed the whole conversation or not. It's just letting us know that, we're kind of headed down a track that people appreciate.
Definitely.
And thank you. I want to do a part 2, Sister Mary, if you're available
sometime
next week. I don't know when we're going to get back to this topic, but it's something that needs to be addressed frequently. I don't want to just talk about it one time and then go back to bullshit. This is something that has to be reiterated over and over and over and over again.
Right.
So awesome. Sister Mary, you can close Jersey. If you're still here, if you have anything, close us out. Nope, I don't think
every voice and sing to earth and
okay.
I don't even know.
Off the floor. Go right ahead if you don't mind closing us out. And take your time. You're not in a rush. Take your time.
I just want to say that I love, man. Love is one of the most genuine feelings. And believe it or not, a lot of people in this world don't experience it. They may not experience it with a partner. They may not have experienced it with their families. Some people, don't even get what we feel like is a positive amount of love or positive words. So we never know anyone's situation. So, I mean, we learned the golden rule in kindergarten: treat others the way you want to be treated. That is the realest shit that I've ever learned in life. And love without conditions. Love without conditions. It could be a romantic relationship, it could be a friendship, but love
Mm-hmm.
somebody in spite of not, don't love people and expect something back. I love you, but you got to do this, and this for me. Teach people how
Right.
to love you. You have to establish boundaries. And if people can't love you without conditions, then they're just taking up space in your life, in your brain, in your house, in your bed. So definitely love without conditions and treat people the way
And
you
that
want to
goes
be
for
treated.
yourself as well. Love yourself without conditions as well.
Okay, girl. Mm,
Let's
girl.
go.
Girl, don't play with it. Don't play with it now. Nah, but that's all I have, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Oh, y'all see my shirt. You good, sis? You good, sis? Black mental
I
health
love it.
matters. You good, sis? You good, bro? Oh, and that's another
It's
one too, real
appropriate.
briefly. Men, talk to some damn body. Please talk to some damn body. Men, black men, men of color, men, period. Please talk to somebody. You're not soft. You're not emotional. You're not a sap. You're not less of a man if you go seek help or therapy or cry. Cry. Men,
Facts.
cry. Cry.
Facts. This panel is not, even though there was a bunch of women on here, this topic is not restricted to females.
Right.
We got to look out for our kings too now.
Definitely. It's okay to cry, men. It's okay to cry, women. It's okay to cry, period. Like that's it. That's all I have. But definitely love each other, love yourself unconditionally. That's all I got.
Well,
Definitely, Kitty.
thank you. Thank you. I enjoy this. Like I said, I'll holler at you in the DMs. We'll chop it up when we see each other. You already know what time it is. Thank you
Definitely.
so much,
Good
Sister
night.
Mary. Thank you. You helped us guide smoothly, and I appreciate it.
Thank you all. And it's time for the
Uh,
fuckery. Mhm.
and time for the fucker. We're ready to turn up. Okay, y'all get ready. We switching gears. Okay, we switching
Let's
gears.
get it. Good night,
Yes. All
everyone.
right. Peace and blessings to everybody in the chat. Peace.
Definitely.
Okay, we will have Jersey close us out. I'm not sure if she's gonna play us out with some music, but thank you for everybody that joined in tonight. This was a powerful build for me. And I think maybe we can, every week that we go live on the Squad TV, we like to back it up on the Squad IG TV. So maybe you're gonna restart. Okay, maybe we can get Sister Mary to give us a few homework pointers or a few exercises that we can post on the Squad TV that will be exclusive for this conversation and this topic. Y'all have a wonderful night. We trying to come back for some Friday fuckery. If you here for some jokes, some laughs, if you don't want to, go to bed yet, we gonna start this thing right back up. Peace and blessings. Jersey, I love you. Tracy, I love you. Granny, I love you. Kiss, I love you. These my squad. Bring home Carbonation, I love you. Game, Poydras, the whole squad. Love y'all. Sunflower, we're praying for you. I've been reading your comments. Love y'all. We coming back. Thank y'all. Peace.